All right. So here I am with Jumoke, and I have her beautiful card deck in my hand. 52 ways to embrace your best self. So, welcome, welcome. I'm sure that everybody wants to know what got you interested in making a deck of cards in the first place.
First place, I use a lot of decks in my sessions, and some of the ideas were like everybody tells me that I just want to be my best self. And when you describe what's your best self, they'll say things like, I want to be creative, I want to be able to embrace all that I am. And actually, the name of my business is Embrace Mental Wellness. So I thought, how fun would it be to find different ways that people want to embrace a new attitude, a new something different for themselves. So that was where the idea came from. And then one of those days, I don't know how it happened, they had a series of get a free thing, like they do all those JVPs or what. And Rose's name was there. And I'm just
Uh,
like, I've been thinking about cats. Let me just see what this person has to offer. And that's how I got into it. And I took me several months to do this, and I was never satisfied with this. And
mm,
eventually, my daughter said, "Mom, just put it out there."
I love
And,
that. Daughters have a
and
lot of wisdom, right?
they do. She's
Or
like,
else you
"Mom,
might
just
still
put
be
it
with.
out there. Even if it helps one person, it's
Yeah.
still more than nobody." And so
Yeah.
that's how that started.
So who are your cards for? You kind of told us a little bit. So what kind of person would want to use your cards?
You would be man, woman, but an adult who is just a little bit maybe not satisfied with where they are, or they
Mm.
have something specific that they're dealing with. Could be, I want to change something. It could be, I want to find more delight in my life. Or,
Mm.
you know, I'm not very compassionate and I want to be more compassionate. So I just sort of selected the kinds of things I've been hearing from people. I don't know how to set boundaries. I don't know, people think I whine too much. And so they can embrace gratitude if they whine too much. So it's for anyone just wanting to make a little change in something that's going on in their life, or just to be better than where they are now.
Yeah, I mean, I love that. And I love that you asked people or listened to what people were telling you, because then you're able to like fill a need that they're looking for. So that's pretty
Mm.
amazing. So why don't you show us, like, pull a card or two and like do a reading for us and show us what they're like.
Okay. I just picked one. It
Mm.
says, embrace loving kindness.
Mm.
And
Can you hold that up a little more so we could see what the bottom said? This is unconditional positive regard for self and others. Mm.
And so when you embrace loving kindness and turn it to the other side, it tells you, it gives an explanation of what loving kindness is, asks you a question about loving kindness, and gives you an action plan. So I'll just go through this for a
Yeah.
second. Loving kindness is the practice of softening your mind towards others and towards yourself. Loving kindness is rooted in Buddhist tradition, which aims to reduce suffering by nurturing goodwill. If you practice loving kindness consistently, it can reduce rage and resentment, and over time can bring ease and calm. So if you pick a loving kindness card, your ultimate goal is to become easy and calm with yourself and others.
Mm.
So the question of that card is, how do I practice loving kindness? And so it gives you an action plan about, just breathing in and taking a few minutes, bring to mind someone you love. This might even be yourself. And you internalize a certain mantra that you choose. The common mantra for loving kindness is, may I be happy, healthy, peaceful, and live with ease. You're
Mm.
giving yourself permission. And you can repeat replacing I with you. And I encourage people that when they do it even when they feel, not just when they feel bad, but when they feel good. They set it as an intention. May I be calm. May I be healthy. May I be at
Mm,
peace. And you go, if
that.
you go through that, and that's what your brain hears all the time, over time, most things won't faze you. Embracing loving kindness doesn't mean you love everyone. It means you soften your mind towards that, even if you don't agree with them, especially when you don't agree with them.
I love that. And the thing is that we keep practicing, it becomes, that's like a new habit, right? Becomes a new habit
Exactly.
versus our old crazy way of thinking.
Exactly. Let me
Love
see.
that.
Pick another cat. What do
Yeah.
I want to pick? I just pull one. Oh, I love this one.
Ooh, eagerness to learn more about the world. Mm.
So it gives an explanation. As we get older, it's easy to close off to the world and get caught up in our assumptions. A curious mind stays open and flexible, making no assumptions and asking questions instead of thinking it already has the answers. Curiosity can lead to new options, new problem solving methods, and new passions. Actually, it was curiosity, which I didn't know I would pick that. Curiosity led me to Rosie and led me to this.
Mm.
I would not have done this had I not been curious to see what is she even doing? How do I do my own deck card? I use a lot of deck cards. Here's another one in my
Yeah.
business. And I was just like, So that was curiosity. And then the question is, when was the last time you allowed assumptions to lead your behavior?
Mm.
And how can you approach each day with more curiosity? And then it gives you an action plan. You make a list of your 3 top strengths, three of your passions, and 3 of your current challenges, and learn something new about each of them every day. Be willing to ask questions and listen to the responses. So the cards are, they're easy to go through, and they're also actionable, because I see some cards, they give me things I can't do. So I was very careful about making
Mm.
it possible to have an action plan that gives you an action, a possibility or opportunity to do something different as part of your embracing your best self.
Yeah, I mean, I love that action plan too, because we can always, on a different day, we can have different answers to that question as well.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
yeah, so you can dig as deep as you feel. Like sometimes you might be, oh, I can't really handle so much right now. And so, but some days you might want to really dig deep. So I think that's it seems to me like these offer a really nice option for whatever stage you're at.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
mean, I think they're just really well thought out, and each one of them has, I mean, it's really fantastic. I mean, even this inspiration, be stimulated to do or feel something, because sometimes we're
Something.
like, oh, I just don't feel like doing anything, right? And you pretty much, you're just saying like, read a new book.
Yeah,
So even if we walked over to our bookshelf, like a different book that we've had there for years might kind of fall out for us, right?
exactly. And I love that. That's
Yeah.
true. So
Yeah.
that's
So
that's the thing about the cards, and um, even this one. I'll share that one because it affects me a lot.
well, that's a really good one for today's times, right? And as you get older, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm feeling unsure of outcomes, and it says, "Is there something you feel uncertain about today? Are you at peace with this uncertainty, or is it causing you stress?" And so
Mm,
it allows you to think deeply. What am I uncertain about? And knowing that, developing a sense of agency about something, it's a sense of agency showing up, that I have control over. I don't have control over what happens in the next 20 seconds.
we do not.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
And so
that's
what's the
the
action step for that one?
the action step for this one is, you can develop a sense of agency by making a list of 3 to 5 tasks you can achieve today. You can reconnect with your body through exercise, stretching, a brisk walk. You can connect with those who support you, because those are certain things.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. And then
Those are
from
things you
there,
have agency. Yeah.
yeah, that's great. I mean, these are just really wonderful. They're wonderful. And you really can move towards just getting to know yourself a lot better by addressing these questions and taking
Yes.
some action.
And like you said earlier, you can pull the same card and come up with different things on different days, on different times. And it's not prescribed that you have to. You can think about your own, your own ideas as well. So
Yeah.
you people have different answers. But what would I try to do was explain what the word means, ask a couple of questions, and give you a few steps of some things to do.
Yeah. So the card you pulled about curiosity and you likened it to like you were curious about the cards, but you could have at any point said, oh, I don't know. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that. But you didn't. You showed up, right? So my next question is, what was the creative process like for you in trying something you hadn't done before? Like, what was that like?
Was at the beginning, it was quite challenging because I thought to myself, I want to have 50 something things to do. And so I thought, well, how am I going to get 50 something things to do? And so I started looking at, again, what clients had been sharing about what they wanted. And then after watching, and then I watched the videos of this, the step by step that you had shared. And I went through that over and over and over again. I don't even think I got to the class 4. I just kept going back to the creative exercise. And then I I started looking at things I had already written, but not under the guise of that particular word. So a lot of this came from things I had already written somewhere
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
myself on my blog,
I love that.
wherever. And I went through that. I'm just gonna say that it took me about 6 months to come up with something that was presentable, that I thought was
Mm,
presentable. And I printed
right.
out just one card. And I shared it. My daughter does editing of different things, but she doesn't have time for me like that. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
waited.
daughter thing.
I waited for her input for about a
Right.
month before she would be like, Mom, I know you, I know how you speak, but you
Mm,
have to make it how other people
interesting.
I cannot. So that was interesting. So maybe
Yeah.
I would switch something somehow and she would switch it the other way. So the process was one of first sitting down and thinking, I have so many ideas for different cats, like all of us do. But this embracing thing just kept coming back to me, like embracing. And when
Yeah.
we look at the description of embrace, that means to accept,
Mm,
to be okay with it, um, to think about it in the sense of I don't just observe it, I totally give myself into it.
I love that.
And so that's how it went on. And I would correct and correct. I used Vivante and they were very good. And so the very first day I came, I really didn't like it. And then I did another one. And so the process was just collecting things that I already had. And like I shared with you earlier on, I still haven't trusted myself to put it out there. It's
Mm.
ready. I sent it to like 3 or 4 people. 2 people wanted 2 copies for their friends. And that's about all I've done with it.
Okay, well, we have to change that. That happens a lot with creative people, right? You put your heart and soul into making something, and then we get this kind of idea like, oh, well, what if it's not good enough? What if no one likes it? I'm not even sure how to do it. Like we
Exactly.
put all these blocks in our way, right? So
Yes.
we're gonna have to take care of that because these are too good not to share.
Thank
Um,
you.
I mean, there's just so many. I mean, you really covered so many different words and concepts. But I do have to say that you really picked the word embrace is so that's such a fitting thing for these cards, right? Because like you said, it's so meaningful that it's not about liking it. It's about
Mhm.
can we just accept, right, what is in every area. So really,
Yeah.
really lovely. I'm so proud of you. And they come in this beautiful little bag. Just so
Yes,
nice.
they do. They do.
Yeah, really nice. So I this question that I have for you, what did you learn about yourself while you were making these cards?
Hmm. Couple of things. One is I feel, and I don't know how this will sound, but I'm just gonna say it. I feel that I am putting myself in a box and that there is more that I can give than I am giving. I didn't even think I could do this because I went, hmm. So that's one, that there's more that I can do that will be helpful than I am doing. I am,
Mm,
maybe call it, I find that I am suffering seriously from imposter syndrome, even though it's a question of, I'm a therapist, but at the same time, it's easy to tell other people what to do than tell yourself what to do. That is one. The second thing is that I can be tenacious because I spent hours just going over one word and finding the meaning, the explanation that seems to make more sense to me.
right.
And then I find also that I need community
Mm,
more than I thought I did. I need a community outside of my family, outside of therapists, in a community of creative people. And so I need to I need to embrace that. I need to embrace my creativity.
wow, like that's huge.
Yes,
Talk about
it
like,
is.
you know, rising up to be your best self. Those are huge
Yes,
things that you learn.
yes,
And I
yes,
love that so much because one of the things I find so fascinating is what people actually learn what we all learn on the creative process, because it is about like tenacity and grace and acceptance and embracing and all of those things, right? Because we get
yes.
scared, right? Like, who am I to do
Yes.
this? And what if someone says it
Thank
sucks?
you. Like, what do you think you are? Kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
that
then
was
I also
interesting.
say this is a gift that you have to give the world, right? Like you spent a lot of time, your creative energy, your thought process, your many years of working with others and experiencing the world went into this. So
Yes.
it's a huge gift that others, if you continue to play small, not that and not share it, then nobody gets to have all the benefits of it.
Benefits of it. Yeah.
And then push themselves up to a more of a where they feel better, because creativity, it
Mhm.
makes you feel, I mean, I know for me it just like fires me up. It makes me so
It
excited.
does. I mean, I was just like, God, I have so many other things. I'm like, well, you have so many other things that you're ever gonna get it done. And so you have this
uh,
dialogue with yourself all the
yes.
time, about it. So
Yeah, and it's never a nice dialogue, right? But
no,
I'm sure
I
there's a
call
card
it
in here.
I call it the committee of frenemies in your head.
Oh, there you
So
go. But I'm sure in here somewhere you have something about that, right?
I actually do.
How did I know that?
I'm trying to look for it. Oh my God, I do have it. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Yeah, it's there somewhere.
Okay, that's amazing. It's amazing. And this is a very nice sized deck. So there's a lot of cards in here. So I highly recommend, we all need to work on ourselves. No matter if we think, oh, I've always worked on myself. You're never done. Say that. Right. There's always another question you can
We
answer.
we are a work in progress
There you
all the
go.
time. All the time.
Always. Right.
Yeah.
Which makes life interesting, right?
Yes, it
So if
does.
people want to find out more about you or work with you, where can they, we'll have all of the links down below this interview, but you can also just let people know now where they can find you.
I am on nebraskatherapist.com. I am a therapist in Omaha, Nebraska. I am licensed in Iowa as well, but my main practice is in Nebraska. And it's a group practice. I have two other people who will work together with me. And I know we talked about it in one of those things. One of the challenges I've had is I want this to be able to be accessed by those who don't need therapy. So I don't want to put it on my therapy website. So
Right.
that has sort of stopped me from even doing anything about it. But that's where I am. I am you can reach me by email or by phone.
Okay.
I also put out a newsletter once a month, which the one last month I just picked a card and it was the card that I use. So I'm thinking to myself that I will probably just put out a card a month or something as
Excellent.
another way of putting the cards out there.
Okay.
But
And
if you
so,
go to www.nebraskatherapist.com.
okay. And they can sign up for your newsletter there. And we'll
Yes.
also put all the links so that when she completes her, shopping cart where these are for sale, you'll have the link below to be able to get them. All right. All right. So anything else you want to leave everyone with? Anything you want people to know about their journey of embracing
That
their
you
best
should
self?
embrace all of who you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. They make up who you are.
Nice.
And there is opportunity to change the ugly to the fair, but we all have the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
Excellent. Thank you so much. And again, these are the beautiful cards.
thank you so much. I love the process of creating it. And I want to thank you, Rosie, for giving me that opportunity.
My pleasure, Jumoke. Thank you.
Thank you.